Hey guys, we're here. We're going to start the second episode of the Hoarded Farm Estate. So we're going to get the video rolling and get it started. We're going to do another voiceover walkthrough with you.
Okay, so here's us walking into the door of that tiny home, doctor's office, whatever you want to call it, for the first time. And this house was just hoarded in with boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff.
Yeah, there's a hole in the roof. The windows are broke out. So there's raccoons, feral cats, all that goody stuff going on in here.
Yeah.
So we got to go through everything, pull everything out. We sort through it. Luckily, we have a big, huge roll-off dumpster that's bigger than some single wide trailers out front that we're going to fill up out of this house.
Yeah, this was pretty bad. And when she said raccoon, I thought she was going to say rat, because this house was full of that. You'll see in the pictures here in just a second when we continue, and we're going to show pictures of us kind of as it gets a little bit cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And but the boxes, the trash bags, everything, we thought we'd find some really cool stuff. We really didn't. I mean,
amazingly, it took us less than a day to actually get through this whole house.
Yeah,
I cannot believe how fast we moved through it.
Yeah, so we worked on it for about a day. We just busted our butts and got it done, and it was a lot of gloves being covered up, dust masks.
Luckily, we didn't have to waste a bunch of trash bags because we had the dumpster right there next to us. So
yeah.
He'd crawl in, bring me a tote. I'd sort through it. Then I'd fill up a tote of keep and a tote of trash, and then we would just dump it.
Yeah. This was pretty bad.
A lot of work.
And a lot of work, yes. And to add on the top of this, we were both getting over COVID as we were working on this. This was about day 3 of us being sick, and working in a house or a building of this caliber of grossness was.
Well, not only that, the day after, we went in this period of 2 windy days in this cell, like record-breaking winds.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
dust storm.
Yep, that's what happens when you live in Oklahoma. You got to deal with the winds coming over the plains. So says the state song. Is that in the state song?
See, Oklahoma, when the winds come
exactly.
Right behind the rain,
yeah,
the waving wheat.
Yeah, the estate song, or the estate song, the state song says it all. So there you go. But yeah, there was a lot of challenges with this estate and dealing with it. And we've talked about family in episode 1, and we're going to kind of show you the way extra griminess that we went through with this. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and continue. Yeah.
Like I said, hole in the roof.
I don't think I showed the hole in the roof.
Here we go. This is after
we had cleaned
a couple
out
of hours cleaning.
Yep. Yeah, so you notice the floors get a little bit cleaner and a little bit cleaner. And this next footage here is of that same room you just saw full of boxes completely cleaned. And then we go into the Christmas room. It was all Christmas.
90% of the house was all Christmas.
Yeah, and here's a kitchen, and the kitchen was nasty. We didn't even really fool with that. We just kind of dug through it. So
this was somebody's sewing room at some point.
So yes, this sewing room was pretty bad. You see the trash bags laying on top, and stuff just toppled all over the place. It was pretty bad.
A lot of unfinished quilt tops, just fabric. This bookshelf that you just see the side of it, was full of fabric samples, which is good for quilting, but not when rats and raccoons are making bedding out of it.
Yeah, so
it was pretty much all rent.
Yeah, so a lot of people have a misconception or a misunderstanding that when you get to dig through a building that's been closed up for 20, 30, 40 years, that's really cool. Yeah, on the surface it's cool.
The thought of it's cool.
But you don't realize the animals that get in there, the bugs, the spiders, and just rat pee. This house stunk. It really did.
I'm surprised we didn't end up with a hantavirus.
I'm very, 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 very surprised we didn't.
All the mice and rat feces, that's where the hantavirus comes from. I'm surprised. COVID was the only thing we had during this.
Yeah. I would settle for COVID any day over hantavirus. So, But it was this was a lot of work. So, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna continue and walk through and just kind of show you. You're gonna see pictures of this house done, and we were literally on our hands and knees scooping up and debris and trash and stuff that's been just compiling in this house for 20, 30, 40 years. So all right, let's continue. Yeah, so there's that front room when you walk in the front door where it's just spotless and no spotless. Hell, that ain't spotless. That is not spotless.
No, but this is that's still not spotless, but that's vacuumed and clean.
Yeah, I don't know why the hell I said spotless.
There ain't nothing in this cell spotless.
No,
nothing in that house.
No, nothing was spotless. Yeah, not even us after working in
No.
it. So, but yeah, so that's about as clean as the carpet got, and we didn't scrub the carpet or anything like that.
No, we're not shampooing that.
But if you look over to the far right of the picture, the bottom right of the picture, I guess, and if you were standing in that spot and you looked up, there was a hole about this big in the ceiling. I told everyone it was a built-in sunroof, but it was just a hole, and I was gonna patch it, but how much work do we put into this to pull maybe $1,500 out of this room or these rooms. But anyways, all right, let's continue. Okay, so there's a Christmas room, and you can see where there's shingles missing, the windows all screwed up, and just trash everywhere. It was ridiculous, but there it is, cleaned up.
Vacuumed.
Yes, and my poor vacuum, and that's it completely cleaned out.
Yeah.
And it was just what a mess. And
that room cleaned up.
There's the fabric room, as we called it. So
it did have It had a cool cabinet in there that was from the old Dewey Decimal System. If you were born before the 2000s, you learned to use that in the libraries.
Was it millennials? Is that it? Gen X and millennials.
Well, the millennials got to learn to use it because millennials were born in the early 80s, so they learned the Dewey Decimal System during elementary school and junior high. Well, we're that weird. You're a Gen X and I'm millennial, so we're this weird.
By like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so.
we're only 5 months apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a card catalog system from.
Some people didn't know what it was, being younger than us. They were like, "What is that?"
Anyone younger than us had no clue what the heck it was. But yeah, it was a card catalog Dewey Decimal System, and it was really cool. It was solid oak. It was a beautiful cabinet. Yeah. And if you had, a store or something, and you wanted something to display with, or just make a spot look really cool with a 5,000-pound piece of furniture. Oh my God, I felt so bad for the guys that moved that thing.
Well, they bought it. They knew what they were in for.
They did, and I felt really bad, and I sat back and I giggled under my breath while they moved that damn thing. So, but okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna kind of walk through the house and show you guys as it's almost set up. So, this is almost set up. Yeah. We're about 95-ish% done with this. So we're starting in the entryway, and if you notice, everything's a lot cleaner. The
spoiled milk is gone?
The spoiled milk right there by that painting where it used to be is completely gone. We rearranged a lot from this cell or from this estate, and it was a lot of work. So let's continue.
I loved that hutch.
Oh,
I think that
painting,
was the coolest
That
thing.
painting is really good. Oh, that mid-century hutch was gorgeous. Yes. And yeah, so you see it kind of set up like how we did it when we first walked through, or how the family had it, and we like to do that, but we still had to rearrange a whole lot of stuff. And notice the bed's not sitting over there anymore.
And there's not a piano blocking the doorway.
Yeah, that was really weird. And, I don't know. People move things, so... But yeah, we had a lot of cool vintage,
plasticware,
Tupperware. There was a really pretty Pyrex nesting bowl set over there. That old mission style buffet right there was nice, but it was just roached out. The top was just in really rough condition. Here's the kitchen. It looks cluttered. It ends up looking a little bit better in the pictures. Thank goodness that this woman.
All the kitchens are cluttered at estate sales. They just are.
Well, this kitchen was cluttered before the stuff was in it. It just made no sense. So, But yeah, it's, the floors are a lot cleaner. We even scrubbed the walls. So we're gonna go into the main bedroom, or I guess not the master bedroom, but the second downstairs bedroom, or third downstairs bedroom.
And what we missed in the other video that never got shown was there's another bedroom off this bedroom.
Oh yeah,
because you never
showed
made
that.
it into
Yeah, I didn't
there.
even know there was a bedroom there until we started working on it after, I think, the second day, because there was so much crap in that room. So but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good records. There was old classic rock records and classic country and stuff.
I guess this in an old house, this would have been like the master bedroom, because in the master bedroom you would have had what would have been the nursery off the master bedroom. So this little bedroom would have been a nursery for the children with its own closet.
See the old Atari? When I found that, we'll talk about the story of where I found that at another day. But it was at this estate. It was just in a different building that we will not show.
Look at them candy vinyls, them candy red
Oh
vinyls.
yeah, yes, that is cool. And this is what we call the toy room, and it had a lot of vintage-ish and antique-ish kids' toys and kids' furniture and stuff like that. But this is supposedly the third bedroom. If my wife, it would be like half a closet for her.
That would have been maybe, or would have turned into a master bathroom.
Or a half a closet. Okay, so now we're heading to the master bedroom, the actual master bedroom for this.
In the bathroom. Oh, we never did talk about the bathroom story.
We'll talk about that on another episode too. That's going to be on a top 10 list. So, but here's the master bedroom. Everything's kind of set up where it needs to be.
It looks like a bedroom again.
It looks like a bedroom. It don't smell like a bedroom, but yeah, it looks like a bedroom.
It smelled better. Oh, the smell was 100% better in this house.
Yeah, I feel bad for our vacuum, and it wasn't that Kirby sitting right there. So, but yeah, this is a really cool bedroom. So, and what you see right there is an old tubed, I don't know how you call it, like a cone.
It was a cylinder.
Like a
cylinder.
A cylinder
A wax cylinder.
Stereograph. Okay, so it's a, been in this business for years, and I still don't know the names of some of this.
Umbrella. I can look
like
it up.
umbrella. But what it is, it's essentially a record player that goes on a tube, a wax tube, and you slide it on this kind of brass looking mechanism, and you put the needle down on it, and it plays music. These definitely predated records. So we have coming up is a actual audio footage of this cylinder tube working, because we didn't know it worked. And we've seen these before, but they've never worked, and we've never had the tubes.
Umbrella.
Okay, thank you Google for that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna call it a wax cylinder tube player. That's got to be very specific.
The music, you just wait. The music in there, it's so creepy. It's like horror movie. Perfect.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. So, but Amanda had told me, like, hey, check this out. Like, it actually works. And so we decided to
put a cylinder on.
Put a cylinder on. Well, you did. But yeah, here we go. Check this out. Okay, so listen to this.
Horror movie.
Horror
Things
movie,
made of nightmares. That makes nightmares.
Yeah, I was thinking of what was that video?
Insidious is what it makes me
Insidious?
think of. No, the movie Insidious. It makes me think of the movie Insidious.
Yeah, that thing actually
Don't
worked.
Don't ask me about video game references.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the game anyways. But it
It was super cool. I think that's about the coolest thing we found in this cell.
Yeah, it was really neat. It sold. It was one of the first items to sell. The opening morning of the sale, and but it turned out it was a neat piece. It was gorgeous, and it was in really good condition. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to walk outside and show you guys how everything was set up in the front yard. It looked like
all
a flea
the stuff
market.
we pulled out from around the property.
Yes, but what we want to do is apologize. This camera we're using is no.
Didn't have a UV filter.
It didn't have a UV filter on it like our new one does. We're still learning, so give us some time on this. But it's kind of washed out and kind of white, but you'll get the gist of what's going on here. So continue. So there was just old farm stuff. I love I think that's an old Chevy bed is made into a trailer.
I think so.
And
I like this little one that was made out of the 55 barrel drum that is to pull behind your tractor for kids to ride in.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
Yeah.
But lots of yard art.
Most of it's yard art.
Cast iron stuff, wrought iron stuff, just stuff. You see the old potbelly stove sitting there. What do you call that? Cauldron?
Yeah,
I can't even
cauldron.
talk tonight for some reason. I'm blaming it on the weather. But that old cauldron hanging was really cool. There's
just rust.
rusty yard art, random weird stuff. And you got an old planter there, not old, but a planter. And you can see the house there that we dug through earlier. But look at the wash basins there. Those
About
are
that
really cool.
carport.
Oh, that carport. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, you can see that kind of sitting back off to the back in the distance. And that was what was attached to the house that we just dug through. It was pretty rank. So, okay, so here's the final pictures of the estate sale after it's completely done and set up. So everything was cleaned up. It was a little bit more straightened up and organized and kind of adjusted to make, good for our pictures when we put them on Facebook, for the estates all coming up and everything. And some of them look a little washed out because I tried two different cameras.
Red vinyls.
Oh, those red vinyls were cool. Those are really neat. They make just good wall decor.
Yeah, they do.
You
can tell we're in Oklahoma. Sooners.
No, you'll see a lot of Sooner stuff in our videos, whether you like it or not. So, but that old record player was cool. And then the I think it was like a 1970s Globe was really cool. There's the whatever you called it earlier, wax ring player.
Wax cylinder.
Huh?
Cylinder.
A wax cylinder, yeah. So, but yeah, this is the end of the setup. It turned out really good. The sell not so much because what we talked about in the first video. It was a lot of work for a little bit of money.
That was a really good piece right there.
That was a really pretty piece. Yeah, that sold really quick.
Yeah.
So
that was the first thing.
And that
sold.
painting sold too,
Yeah.
which was an original oil painting. Couldn't tell you the name of the person. I forgot by this point, but they weren't famous, but they were local, so it sold. But so yeah, it turned out to be a good sell. It was a learning experience for us, as in when someone asks you to come into their house and it's going to be a hoarding house and it's going to be nasty and there's going to be rotten milk sitting over by the front door.
Run.
Get your out and run.
Run.
Yeah, run like the wind. Go. So, but in this business, the more we do it, the more we think. The more we need to learn. We will never know everything, right?
No.
So we're constantly learning in this business, and when you think you know it all,
You don't.
You're gonna get stomped down and knocked down a couple rungs on the ladder. So, but this was a sell that I am glad to be done with. We are glad to be done with,
so
for
much.
damn sure.
So much.
And it was a lot of work. And we can't wait to see you guys on the next episode talking about other sells that we've done and or that we're working on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you want to do the like, comment, and subscribe thing? Bing, 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 bing.
You just gonna throw it in here?
Yeah, just throw it in here with all this.
Okay. So guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you on the next episode. And thank you all.